guess a fun fact about both Brook and Zoro, it's like they bathe once a week. And I guess Brook, it makes sense, because, you know, he's a skeleton, he doesn't smell that bad. And also, would the water kind of damage his bone? Do water damage bones? Gonna have to look that up later. Then again, he did spend like 50 years on a ship out in the open sea, so I guess it doesn't damage it that much. Definitely didn't damage his hair. Zoro, on the other hand, I guess it would make sense, because before he joins up with Luffy, he was like a bounty hunter, going from place to place. Isn't exactly like stable to find a place to like bathe. I don't think even the guy he traveled with, like the two bounty hunter and East Blue, I don't think they also bathe regularly, considering they don't even know what scurvy is. So maybe who would have the stronger heat, actually, between Brook and Zoro? Brook, he's a skeleton who after like 50 years hasn't like erode that much, but Zoro, just with his three-sword style, been holding a sword in his mouth quite some time, so I guess it depends on who has more milk. I'm not sure if I remember this correctly, but like in Whole Cake Island, Brook sort of heals himself using milk, which again makes sense. Manga is weird manga logic. Okay, and now for the Wado. I can't say the name, frick. I know this is supposed to be like Zoro's sad backstory, but like as a kid I was like, what kind of like drawing school, not gonna lie. So Brook being my favorite is not a surprise. I guess my favorite to draw. Originally, wasn't Brook worked for the military? Pretty sure he did. It was like a commander or something of a kingdom in the North Blue, I think. And then he quit to join the pirates. Originally has say that he's not strong because Brook is pretty old and like years of experience. And I guess the only reason why he hasn't dead samurai that he didn't win against the zombie that has his shadow is because he didn't have his afro, but what do I know, I'm not a power scaler. Honestly, I kind of feel bad for Brook when the time skip happened, because like, can you imagine being this man? First, your captain is like, captain got sick, half of your crew got sick, along with your captain, and like their fate is like admittedly unknown to you because you have to left to continue the journey, and then your other half of the crew, the one you're supposed to lead and protect, also died. The only hope you have is like your mysterious devil fruit power that hopefully will revive you after you die, so you can like fulfill this promise to this whale that you made and you have to leave, that you love, that you and your crew love, and you have to leave him behind. After the rest of your crew die, your one and only mission was to like travel the world, go back to the whale you left behind, and then fulfill your promise. Yeah, to fulfill your promise on both ends. One to like the whale that your crew promised, like, hey, we'll be back for you, and another to your dead crewmate when it's like, yeah, I'll make it back for you guys. Don't worry, we'll bring this like record dial to show that we still love him and that we tried our best to keep our promise. And then you end up stuck in a freaking the Bermuda Triangle, basically, the next 50 years. And some weird asshole stole your shadow. Now, not only like you can't even leave the sea, because I believe there was something wrong with his ship. You can't leave it, period. You can't leave the Bermuda Triangle, period. Because if you leave, you'll die, and if you die, you'll like breaking promise of the two to your friends in general, I guess. And it's like, and then this wacky shit Haruku came. They set you free. They give you back the ability to walk under the sun, and they tell you that, hey, the whale that you promised you come back, he's still alive, he's still waiting, and you are just so happy. You join their crew, and they're nice, and you pledge your loyalty to them, you make some friends, and like, you came into the sun, you're once again alive and good and stuff. And then your crew got separated, and you couldn't even protect them for like, what, the third time? Yeah, Brook is a bit high on my favorite Straw Hat list, as you can tell. I mean, if it was me, I have I'd go through like a depression arc. But Brook is such a trooper. He'd pick himself up. He'd try to make the best of his situation. At least he got to spread his music and I guess pirate, specifically Luffy propaganda. It's great. Yeah, actually, I don't think it's mentioned. Like, do the people listening to Brook's music know that he's spreading propaganda? Like, do they know that it is propaganda? Because usually, I think the world government will be, like, really on top of the situation. Unless Brook is that good, and they're like, I guess this Cypherpole agent sneak into his concert is like, I mean, it is pirate propaganda, but it's also really good. I'm gonna let this slide and just not report it. I like to think it's something like that. Me too. Me when I found out my favorite pop stars actually wanted pirate. Oh shit! I've been listening to pirate propaganda. Oh boy. Zoro, meanwhile, in the time skip is like training with Mihawk, fighting monkeys and stuff. Corona is there. Zoro is also probably not doing mentally well. I don't think any of the Straw Hat is doing mentally well, like, at the beginning of time skip. Like, when I was a kid, when I read, like, the Sabaody acapella arc, not a kid, but, like, when I first read the Sabaody acapella arc, I kind of compare it to, like, the Rohei situation from Hitman Reborn, when, like, in, like, the first training arc, he was taught, like, yeah, you're strong, but you also need to rest if you want to use your strength to the fullest potential. I kind of apply that to, like, Sabaody Zoro. But, like, even if he wanted to rest, I mean, I guess he could have rested and not trained, but at the same time, literally after a part, he learns that his captain is in so much pain because he couldn't step up. And, like, how can I be... I guess, like, in my interpretation, it's kind of... He's kind of like, how can I be, like, the greatest swordsman in the world when I couldn't even, like, help my captain with his fights, I guess. That's my interpretation, at least. Yeah, I don't think any of the Straw Hats is doing mentally well at the beginning of, like, when they first came to the respective island. Although, I wonder why Kuma chose, like, a cult for Brook. Like, was it because he's a skeleton? Because I guess that would make sense. Because, I don't know about you, if I see this walking, talking skeleton... Actually, I don't know what I would do with a walking, talking skeleton. Maybe he thought, like, hey, that island has a cult. You know what cults are good for? Figuring out weird, strange, undead power. I mean, I guess Brook figured it out independent from the cult, because the cult people kind of got, like, kicked out by the long arm people who then used Brook to make money because Brook can sing really well. I'm pretty sure that Brook does weed because he's old, and I don't know about you, but normally, not like old people use, like, weed, but it's like, Brook hasn't been into, like, modern society for, like, 50 years, so half a century, and medication sort of changed in that time, so for all we know, back then he could have used weed as like a medicines kind of that kind of stuff. So pretty sure Brook does weed. Zoro is just. We ever figured out who won that drinking contest between Zoro and Nami? No, no, Zoro is just straight up sake, so good for him. I wonder if Zoro could learn how to cut ghost. Yeah, this is why Brook and Zoro we need to have some scene where Brook and Zoro train together and Zoro learn how to cut a ghost. I guess you can use armament hockey because technically this is like devil fruit power, so also I guess this is not an appropriate amount of teeth. You know what? It's fine. This is fine. And the true question of the matter is, will we ever figure it out? And I guess it's also, I don't know if Oda will ever reveal if. No, Brook said yeah, because when Brook was sailing, Roger was just a rookie, and then wasn't quite some time later until like Roger crossed into the Grand Line when he met Crocus and Laboon. So I guess it's, yeah, I guess it's, yeah. Even in his ghost form, he still has like the scar thing. And for the longest time, I thought Zoro eyes would be green. Yeah, because because in the manga, it's not very clearly shown. I don't think. Yeah, no, in the manga, I think it was just like a black dot, and it wasn't until like and I think it's also changed a couple of times in the manga, in the anime too. I think Zoro eyes color, it's gray now, I believe, at least according to the reference picture. It's gray. To be honest, I'm a bit curious about how Zoro would develop if Kuina didn't die. Like, there's a lot of fanfic with that premise, but I guess my favorite would be like, I can't remember the name, but it's like a Luffy time traveling fanfic. You know, the usual flavor for One Piece. But like in that fic, because it's just Luffy traveling back in time, Zoro ended up training with him and grew strong enough to beat Kuina, but he was like, you know what, it's not fair. You weren't given the same opportunity as I am, and if I'm gonna beat you, we will be on the same level. And so he just sort of drags her to Fuchsia, where Luffy drags him, and just start training with her. I probably should do a fanfic recommend video soon, because this fight, and you know what? Yeah, spoilers here, because in the fanfic, this fight where like, you know, the usual self-insert stuff where like not the character, but like the guy who got who got isekai is has like future knowledge. But at first he didn't want to review it, so when they meet like Mr. Nine and Mr. Wednesday and Zoro make a move to seem that he knows what's going on, he sort of like talked. The guy who got isekai got called Zoro and say, hey, you know something about this? Because he himself, Cross didn't want to review that. Yeah, I'm from an alternate dimension and I know what's going on. He didn't want to reveal that, so he's just sort of goads Zoro into telling the rest of the Straw Hat that, hey, yeah, I'm pretty sure those people are bounty hunters. They're gonna kill us. Yeah, the fanfic's great. I love Zoro in that. I guess Second Wind is also a good option for fanfic, but I haven't read that one in so long, and it's like it's on hiatus at like Marineford. So I wonder if does Zoro master no hockey, or at least some form of it? Like, 'cause remember he was the one who told Zoro about like told Zoro about the secret about cutting steel. So it's like it's not hockey. I don't remember the specific like instruction. It's kind of sound like hockey when I read it. So maybe. Plus, the village was established by like Wano people who I believe Oh god, my memory's horrible. The village was established by, like, people who left Wano, so do you think Zoro feel disappointed when he met Tashigi? Because here was Kuina, who was stronger than he was, by far, and Tashigi is decidedly not. Like, even when he first met her, I don't think Tashigi was stronger than Zoro. Do you think he looks at this woman who looks so much like his old rival, his old dead friend, and it's like disappointed because she couldn't live up to like his standards, or at least his like I would say projecting of Rina. I am really happy that they changed it. Zoro's epithet now. It's like Zoro, King of Hell. Yeah, King of Hell sounds much cooler than Pirate Hunter. Like I guess he has been like famous enough in like the East Blue, and they look at this guy and said, "What should we name him? Thirst Work Style Zoro? No, that's too too long." I mean, they could have called him Three Sword Style Zoro, but like it doesn't sound cool enough. Oh, I know. How about Pirate Hunter? What? But he's a pirate? Yeah, but he's also used to be a pirate hunter. We got like several record of him putting in bounty in like East Blue, and like the person who made the wanted poster is like, yeah, you know what? It sounds better than Three Sword Style Zoro. It just doesn't catch me. You know, Pirate Hunter Zoro. It's more catchy, so they just slap on Pirate Hunter Zoro, and it wasn't until like after Wano, it's like, you know, at this point, Pirate Hunter Zoro is doesn't fit anymore. He literally, his crew is becoming a Yonko. Straw Hat is basically a Yonko crew. Having a Pirate Hunter on it, it's not very thematic, I think. Wait, no, thematic's not a right word. Well, I guess thematic could be the right word, but it's not like, it doesn't fit. So, how about we change it to, well, I guess it's not because he beat, oh, I guess it's because he beats King, and then the Straw Hat becomes a Yonko crew, that the people who make the wanted posters like, listen, having a pirate hunter on a Yonko crew is, I guess, a bit of a joke, and they don't want to make it a joke. They want to make the Straw Hat seems like dangerous and stuff. So it's like, yeah, no, we're gonna scrap the pirate hunter. We need a new name. Well, I mean, a lot of his, I think we got a lot of like reports say he's a demon in battle. The people who make the wanted poster is like, yeah, you know what? Let's call him King of Hell. I don't think he pulled Ashura until like Wano, but he's pretty much a demon when he fights. So yeah, King of Hell it is. Nami's gonna get a epithet name, new epithet. Did Jinbei get a new epithet? I think it's just Zoro who has the new epithet. You know, there's some fanfic where Brook is literally the last person of the Straw Hat to die, which is a very sad thought to think about. Like, he outlived it like technically two separate crew. It's like, he doesn't deserve that, man. He really doesn't deserve that. I don't remember the name, but like, there's this fanfic where hundreds of years past, the Straw Hat is basically a legend, and Brook is literally on the deathbed, and like the newest, I guess, Pirate King candidate's sort of just there tending for him. And when he dies, the Straw Hat is there, they wait for him. This made me so sad that I cried. There's also, I don't remember what, but like, Zoro becomes like the world's greatest swordsman, and he sort of fought Tashigi afterward, and just fake his death and start a dojo for kids. I wonder if Zoro would start a dojo after, like, he becomes the world's greatest swordsman. So I don't think he's just gonna be like, oh yeah, my dream's done. I'm done with sword. I'm just gonna hang it up and never touch it again. I don't think he's gonna just stop using a sword. Starting a dojo would be good. Like, he could train how he was trained, so gonna be very brutal, and it's located right next to Chopper Hospital. Like, yeah, look, it's right next to Chopper Hospital, and every once in a while, Chopper will kick down the door of the dojo and be like, "Stop sending people to the hospital." Although, I wonder how Chopper would treat Brook. Brook's whole thing is pretty... Her whole body is pretty unique, because it's kind of implied he doesn't have any, like, physical organ, but he still eats. And I'm pretty sure he poops, because Luffy knows what he was asking. Oh yeah, a lot of fanfic to reread. I read a lot of fanfic in my days, but there is one where it's like, where Brook Bounty Poster is literally just a skeleton. It's very easy to just, you know, glue an afro onto a skeleton and just be like, oh yes, this is the Soul King Brook. Definitely Soul King Brook, and not a freaking skeleton you bought at the dollar store and glue on an afro. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Nami would do that. Nami just buy a skeleton from the dollar store, glue an afro on it, and be like, yeah, I'm here to hand in Soul King Brook's bounty, if that's possible. Speaking of bounty, do you think people would ask? I don't think so, because there's no time, but like, hypothetically, if like Zoro do an interview and like the interviewer would joke that, oh yeah, you were a pirate, you were a pirate hunter Zoro, would you like hand in your crewmate for a bounty? Like, would he A, sit no and be really offended about it, or B, jokes about how he's gonna hand in the witch, which is Nami? Decisions. I don't know which one's in more character. Maybe not post-time skip, but pre-time skip. I could see Zoro pre-time skip joking and say, probably the witch, I'll hand her in. I'll erase my debt. And if Nami just stood right next to him, and it's be both terrified and angry. And just increases depth right there. Brook is the only one with Straw Hat who doesn't get his hair, like, cut. Like, he dyes it and everything, but at least in the Treasure Cruise, I know that there's a few versions of him where he dyes his hair, but he never is, like, cuts it. Whatever it's down to, like, braid it or something. Also, I like it how, like, in the post-time skip, Brook's outfit is just his pre-time skip outfit, this time with a fancy leggings. It's so wild, I love it. Zoro outfit, I guess I don't know what it's called. I'm not educated. Zoro keeps, like, his waistband thingy. I can't pronounce the thing, but it's nice to see him keep it. I'm surprised Zoro Master let him use the sword so willingly, but I guess it's just like, I don't know if it's guilt or not, because literally the last time Zoro Master saw his daughter, he said a very, very cool thing to her, and like, even before he could like apologize and stuff, his own daughter dies. Even though I'm pretty sure, yeah, you know what? Yeah, narratively, for all we know, he knows that she dies. So I guess when Zoro asked for her sword, he'd be willing to part with it, because I'm pretty sure it's like a family heirloom kind of deal. The Wado Ichimochi, I think that's how you say it. Shit. Yeah, but the sword is like an heirloom, and like the fact that Zoro's teacher is willing to like part with it so easily, probably because guilt. Actually, now that I think about it, Zoro is blackmailed technically into joining Luffy. Nami, basically without her consent, just got decided that Luffy, like, hey, you're gonna be my navigator. Sanji has refused your refusal. Usopp is, like, not... Did Usopp get asked? I'm pretty much they just decided, yeah, we're cool with you, just get on. Vivi is unwillingly, not like unwillingly, but the Straw Hat is like literally her only hope to go home. Chopper is the same thing with, yeah, Chopper is like an ass. Luffy asked him. Ah, jeez. Really need to read. No, I can't do a reread. I just finished rereading. I'm already in the middle of a reread. I can't do a reread of a reread. That's a horrible, horrible thing. Freaking guitar. I forgot about the fresh guitar. No. Actually, no, that I forgot it. Costume didn't. Yeah, no, her costume didn't change much except for the pants and the dress shirt. Do you think it's like somewhat because he wants to look at recognizable as he was the moment he left, or I'm pretty sure we never got an answer on where Zoro got that scar. It's probably Mihawk. It doesn't seem like a guy who would like bother much with scarring Zoro. It's like it's training. You know, sometimes if you want to get stronger, you gotta leave a few marks. Yeah, whole time skip is just Mihawk and his two freeloaders. Yeah, Strong World. The one with like the suit at the end of the movie, I think.